Hello, my name is Liz Medina, and I'm speaking to you from Santiago, Chile. I'm going to tell you about psychobioenergetics and energy work that I have been practicing for many, many years, and that I learned from a very wise Italian woman, Adriana Bessi, here in Chile in 1994. Now, why do energy work? In the future, all human beings on this planet will probably be doing energy work every day. Basically, we are energy beings, right? We're energy beings, but we have been ignorant of how to work with that essence. We have been very focused on our material bodies. However, we are at a key moment in our history on this planet. We're waking up. We're waking up from a dream of millennia full of mistaken ideas and belief systems. And basically, we're waking up because 3D is becoming uninhabitable. Simply that. The forces that control us are negative, dense, dark forces. And the time has come for us to take governance over our energy and to unleash the hidden capacities that we have possessed always, but that have been either taken away from us or forbidden us. And all of those false ideas led us down the path of suffering. Now, this planetary crisis that we are in cannot be resolved from the material plane, and it cannot be resolved from the mere action of reason or the I, the ego. Neither can it be resolved through fetishism by relying on a religious idea of a savior from outside of ourselves. Instead, we are being forced to plumb the depths, the mysterious depths of our being. And there have always been wise men and women who have come to bring us messages. And I met one of them, Adriana Bessi, in Chile in 1994, when I was in a clinical depression. And with just 2 sessions in a group with her and an individual session, I felt the mobilization of my energy as I had never felt it before. It is a subtle and very pleasurable sensation, the vibration that runs through your entire body. And when I came out of that, especially the individual sessions, I had no longer any depression. I had normalized. My energy had normalized to the point where I could rebuild, begin to rebuild. And when this happened to me, I realized that I had to learn how Adriana could do what she could do, so that in the future, I would be able to help others as she had helped me. And so I became her teacher, her student, for the next 13 years until her departure from this dimension in 2008. Where did she discover this tool called psychobioenergetics, how to mobilize the body's energy through the power of the mind? Well, she was born in a small city called Prato near Florence in Italy in 1925. And she was born already with psychic gifts. And as she grew up, she had a very difficult life, by the way, and especially because she had to leave Italy after the Second World War, after witnessing the death of her father at the hands of the Nazis. And she came to Chile, and she was already healing. She had a lot of bioenergy that irradiated from her hands, and she had discovered this in Italy. She talks about it in her book, how she met a wise man who was a pioneer in bioenergy in Italy. When she arrived in Chile, she was also a musician, a concert pianist. She began to help people to heal. And by the time the 1970s had come along, she was having very serious physical problems. And through revelations, the ascended masters explained to her that she had been accumulating the negative energy charges of the people that she had helped to heal. And they had accumulated over her magnet. Now, each of us is a magnet. And the problem with our magnet is that we are polarized negatively. We have a lot of blocked energy, basically, in our vital centers, which are centered in the brain. And we are born with this blocked energy. And especially healers or doctors or social workers, whenever we deal with others, we receive charges from them. Okay? We receive, it's not that they give us energy or that they take away our energy, no, but their energetic charges that are foreign to us become superimposed over our own energy body. Yes? And that will accelerate the incubation of ailments. Apart from our blockage, which already gives us the propensity to develop material diseases later on in life, mainly because of the negative thoughts that we accumulate as we grow and as we get older. So it was in Chile where Adriana went through a very serious crisis, and she was also helped by non-human beings to remove those charges that had accumulated on her magnet. But the result was that it was so violent that she nearly died. But thankfully, she was a very strong woman, and she had a mission to carry out. And she received the keys for working on the energy, on one's own energy, in order to dissolve those energy blockages in a way that would not cause any violent destruction. Yes, because it would be her, Adriana, a human being, teaching other human beings how to go through this process, how to use this technique. And so when I met Adriana, I dedicated myself to learning how to work with my energy. Now, in order to initiate the process of unblocking the condition that we are born with and that we have accumulated as we grew up and got older, we cannot do this alone. Somebody else who already has a higher potential and who is able to produce the transformation of static energy into bioradiant fluid energy, that person has to give us a push. It's kind of like teaching someone to ride a bicycle, and you give them a push, and then they can pedal and they can continue riding their bicycle, right? So psychobioenergy is a technique in which an instructor teaches the participant in a group how to raise their potential and enables them to experience the transformation of the blocked energy into high potential energy. Basically, we have the technique, right, which uses the attention and the breathing and the visualization that is directed to different points of the body and of the head. But what we are really working on is that we are mobilizing these centers in the body and in the head and producing the transformation in the vital energy centers in the brain. And then we transform a huge volume of energy into from static, negatively polarized, low vibrational frequency energy. This is transformed into high vibrational frequency, high potential, positively polarized, fluid energy, bioradiant energy. And then with micro exercises, we redistribute that huge volume of transformed energy through the spine and to the different energy centers and organs in the body. And once you have learned how to work with the easiest center to mobilize, which is the navel, then you can work every day. You can also learn the entire circuit, which are 22 different points. And every day you will be raising your energetic potential. And this means you will be raising your vibratory frequency. Now, as I said, we are magnets polarized negatively because of our energy blockage. And as we do our energy work, and each person must do their own energy work because the instructor can only raise you to his or her potential while you work with her and for 4 more days. And then you will return to your own energetic condition. Yes? So it is absolutely critical for you to acquire the habit of working with your own energy every day. And the more you work, the greater potential your cerebrospinal center will have for transforming its own blocked static energy into fluidic bioradiant energy. And that is the central idea behind this technique. Now, and so we do this energy work once a week in a group. And there is no problem at all with doing it via Zoom because it's even easier to work with energy when the body is not there. Yes, because energy, it renders space and time immaterial. It penetrates distance and it penetrates materiality. And so this is wonderful. When we work in a group, I am the instructor. I am the active. I play the active role. I am the transmitter. And the participants take on the passive role. They are the receptors. They are the negative polarity to my positive polarity. And basically, we create a local field in which I am the transmitter, you are the receiver. I do the psychobioenergy technique, and simultaneously I transform not only my energy, but also yours. And because we are in a group, we have to do micro exercises afterwards. And these are very easy. You do them by imitation. And we also, at certain moments, do a little exercise that's called projecting the mental 8. The mental 8 is like the symbol of infinity or the figure 8, which we project mentally down to our feet. Even if one foot is resting on one knee, we still imagine that both feet are on the floor, and we project the mental aid to our feet. And so we do the micro exercises so that in spite of there being several people and each person having their own energy dynamic, and we have transformed a large volume of energy, because I am able to do that because I have done energy work for every day for going on 16 years now. And before that, I was working with Adriana, but sometimes I would miss a day or two or even 5 days, but she was always there, so there was no problem. I am able to produce the transformation of this large volume of energy. But if we did not do the micro exercises, then people would feel disagreeable sensations. Sometimes you might even feel like a truck ran over you. You have to redistribute that energy for each one. Yes? So that is, in a few words, the energy that we do via Zoom. And I've actually prepared a short PowerPoint to go through psychobioenergy. Energy work to mobilize, unblock our energy with the power of the mind. And that mental power or psychic power is what we develop. That mental power that enables our brain to work at ever more optimal levels, because the brain is not just a supercomputer, it is a nuclear power plant. It transforms molecular energy into subatomic energy. And that extremely subtle high potential energy is what actually gives the intelligence to all of our cells and the life force that enables us to stay young, that enables us as well to raise our frequency and in that way open up our channels to the higher dimensions. The higher dimensions and the beings of light are constantly watching over us and sending us help. But because of our energy blockage, we are like inside an armoring that cannot be penetrated from above. We have to dissolve it ourselves. Yes? And then we can receive all of the help that we require, that we need. And we can also receive all the abundance. Why? Because it's very simple. When you're blocked, you are negatively polarized. You attract to yourself all of the problems, all of the difficulties, and you are also subjected to all of the electromagnetic and biomagnetic fields surrounding you that are more powerful than yours. And so you are basically enslaved to the energies of others, yes, who may have dense, low frequency energies. Yes, but if you raise your vibrational frequency, then your surroundings will begin to obey your frequency and they will rise. And you will only attract high frequency influences, phenomena, manifestations. And this is why we have to raise our level of consciousness, our vibratory frequency, our energetic potential, our energy dynamic. And that's the crux of the matter. Here we have the logo of Psychobioenergetics that Adriana received from the Ascended Masters. And here's an image of Adriana. At that time, she was around 79 years old. And this was an article that came out about her in a Sunday magazine in Chile. Let me raise my image so that you can see the entire slide. And here is her book, The Right to a Better Life, that she published in Chile. And I have translated it into English for anyone who would be interested in reading it. PBE, or Psychobioenergetics, mobilizes our vital energy centers to transform static energy into fluidic bioradiant energy. In other words, it opens up the pineal gland and it activates the pituitary gland and all of these centers. Yes. We mobilize 22 energy points on the body and inside the head. But as I had mentioned, what we are really doing is acting on the energy centers, the vital energy centers in our brain. These are the points in the body that we work on. Larynx, heart. We start with the spleen, then the heart, then the larynx, and then the trachea, the breastbone, the liver, the navel, the pelvis. And here we see that the hands are charge electrodes. And this is why people can do Reiki, because any mother can take away the pain when her child gets a cut or hits his foot against something or his leg, and by placing the hands and rubbing over the over the place that was hurt, the energy that was blocked, the blockage, yes, which is gas, really. It's the gas, the gas element that pressures on the nerve terminations. That overcharge of energy is dissolved. And that is because our hands are electrodes of charge and our feet are electrodes of discharge. And this is why when we walk on grass, we can discharge our negative energies and relax. And here are the points in the head. We imagine a light ray or a tunnel through which we move our attention and our breath from the crown. We start with the crown to the chin, crown to the mouth, crown to the tip of the nose, and so on. Yes? From the crown to the chin, from the crown to the tip of the nose, from the fontanelle to the nape, the top of the forehead to the nape, center forehead to the nape, mid-brow to the nape, tip of the nose to the nape, mouth to the nape, and chin to the nape. And as you see, you are using your psychic energy to pass through your pineal gland and your pituitary. Yes? And then afterwards, we send the energy down the spinal column. And that takes care of redistributing the energy to all of the organs and the tissues and the cells. So why do energy work? To unblock our vital energy centers, raise our energy dynamic by enabling the cerebrospinal center to transform blocked static energy into increasingly greater volumes of high potential, high frequency, bioradiant energy. It's to polarize our magnet positively and attract solutions to problems, protect us from dense, low-frequency energy fields, and open up our connection to the higher dimensions. It is to exit 3D and rise to 5D, a subtle process that manifests as we observe our behavior changing and our life experience becoming more abundant, peaceful, and thriving. To enter 5D, we have to raise our vibratory frequency every day. This cannot happen through crystals or an external master or magic potions or prayer. You have to work on your vital energy centers correctly and with an efficacious tool, which psychobioenergy definitely is. So if you would like to experience a group energization via Zoom, send me an email, and this is my email address. Here is an image of my group in Chile. It's a small group. We are not more than 6 persons, and there is no problem with that because sincerely, psychobioenergy is for very few people. So if you like it, if you resonate with it, then you are one of a very small and privileged and blessed group. So try it out because the best way is to experience it. And finally, here is the one picture that I took with Adriana when I was about to leave for the States in 2002, and I didn't know if I was ever coming back to Chile, but we continued in touch. And every week we would speak on the phone, and Adriana would work on my energy through the phone. But you see, the phone isn't really necessary. You just have to entrain by saying, okay, 10 o'clock, we're going to be working for 15 minutes. And it works. But without Adriana, I would never have come out of my huge crisis and found this incredible tool. And I am still in touch with Adriana, absolutely. And also in touch with my beloved master, because each of us has a light being who is our master. Generally a male figure for women and the female figure for men. So this concludes my brief presentation, and thank you very much for listening and sharing. Okay, we will end.